Yeah, they're having their own response for sure. You know, which I think is great. And to me, that's like a learning thing. That's like, oh, I hadn't, you know, thought of that, or I hadn't, you know, that hadn't been my intention with the piece. But if that's how you're responding to it, that's really interesting. I haven't mentioned the huge bonfire that we're going to have. No, I'm kidding. You know, I'd just like people to be able to engage with it when I'm not here. And I kind of see that in a more, like, I'd like people to either have a piece that they engage with sort of one-on-one in their home in a very personal way. Or as I was saying before, kind of jokingly, when the movie About My Life comes out, I think that will be really, you know, it'll be nice to see an Oscar-worthy screenplay and, you know, some really fabulous direction. So. Yeah. Again, I think the Band-Aid piece is the one that seems to have the most resonance for people. So I think that'll probably have the longest. Yeah, the documentation for things. You know, but it's funny because I was thinking about this morning. Like, you know, we think that now that the digital age is here, we have all of these amazing sort of opportunities for archiving, and, you know, there's this huge cloud of information that's going to live forever. And it's like, you know, 25 years ago, no one even had thought of what the internet was. Like, so maybe in 50 years we'll all be off on some other tangent, and all this stuff in the cloud will just vaporize, and, you know, who knows? Oh, Canada revenue. Um, my opinion about that, I sometimes donate work to, you know, to fundraising auctions for various causes. And when I donate a work, the amount of value put on the work, not the amount necessarily that it sells for, but the assigned value is then considered income in my tax stream. So I have to pay income tax on that valuation. And I think a lot of artists don't know that, or they just assume that when they get a tax receipt from an auction or something, or a fundraiser, that they can claim that against their income, and it actually is their income. So they actually have to pay tax on it, which seems kind of crazy, and it puts artists in a kind of crazy position. And I think the people who should be donating to fundraisers and auctions and stuff are not the artists, but are collectors. Collectors have had like an easy ride for a long time because they go to these fundraisers, they buy up work, you know, really undervalued, you know, in an auction situation, they get maybe I don't know, say a $10,000 piece for like a few $1,000s, and, you know, they're happy. But then the artist still has to pay tax on that. So the artist is the person who's like getting the least amount of benefit, and the you know, the art collectors are doing pretty well on it. So I think fundraisers and people like that should be you know, targeting collectors more if they want to sell work, you know, to make money for whatever institutions or whatever they're supporting. And the collectors should put it out there, not the artists.